So I see we do have people with us today. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Yeah, and should we go on and start? And yeah. So, good evening. I am Nadia Maglio from the KTP. I'm the chair-elect of the KTP working group, and we'll be here today hosting the webinar to present you and relaunch the KTP program to you with Andri Foka, the current leader of our working group, and we hope that by the end of this webinar, you will have almost to none questions on how to apply and join the application process and maybe have a wonderful project with the KTP program. So hi, Andri.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Thank you to Birte that she's hosting us today. And we will try, me and Nadia, we will try to explain as much as we can about the KTP program and about the new launch of the applications. So today our agenda is first to get to know what is the KTP program. Then we will see together with Nadia the guidelines and the sample application. We prepare for you a sample application, so it will be easier to explain you and to put you on a position to be able as easy as we can to fill an application, and also the same with the budget. So Nadia prepared an imaginary proposal and the budget, so we will be able to explain you more. So please, next slide. So what is the KTP program? It's a program that is under EULAR and is funding by EULAR. And the scope is to enable national PARE organizations to learn and apply skills and learn through the exchange of best practices and expertise in the PARE network. The learning organization can develop professional capacities, acquire new skill sets, and the process stimulates innovation. The KTP can be achieved through face-to-face visits or via online meetings where participants share and discuss aspects of the projects. Next slide, please. So, as I said before, EULAR and especially PARE supports member organizations in their capacity building to better serve the R&D community while supporting the user-led principle. Sorry, I am interrupting because Nadia has just sent you on the chat that if you have any questions, you can write them in the chat, and we will try to answer it while we are presenting. And at the end, we will open the questions to everybody to ask anything else. So the KTP program is designed to support patient organizations that wish to further develop their skills through applying lessons and learned by other organizations in the EULAR network. This knowledge transfer is mainly done through learning from an organization in another country. The program is designed as such in order to be easy for the member organizations to apply. The program is open for EULAR member organizations of PARE and to supporting scientific affiliates of PARE organizations. Organizations outside of Europe can only apply for a virtual exchange. So the organizations, member organizations of PARE can apply either for virtual or face-to-face meetings, but the scientific affiliates that are outside of Europe can only apply for a virtual exchange. Next slide, please. So what is the role of learning organization is to initiate the process by identifying its needs, find partners, and the partner is the teacher organization, fills in the application. So the learning organization is the responsible organization to apply and to deal with all the aspects of the application. And in addition, the learning organization is the organization that is funded. Not the teaching organization is not funded. Okay, it's the learning organization is doing all the funding. It's dealing with the funding. The teaching organization is the organization that has the experience, and the role is that is a partner for the program, and is a partner with the learning organization and helps to achieve the goals by sharing their knowledge. Next slide, please. Nadia, do we have any questions?
No, nothing as of yet.
Okay, thank you. So why should organizations should apply? Because it's a unique opportunity to invest into organizations' capacity building, which means, sorry, my AirPods on, sorry. Which means that the organization can learn things from other organizations without giving such effort and big effort to invent everything. It's a possibility to start new projects and learn from more advanced organizations. It's a possibility to involve more people from the organization. The R&D community in the country into the change in your organization. This means that with the KTP program, you are able to involve more people because you will need the help of more people. So it's a possibility to involve more people in the organization and in your country in order to have more people to learn, more people to help you, and more people to do at the end of the day the project to work. Again, it's when we are finding, when we are in the PARE community, we have the opportunity to make friends. So by participating on a KTP program, it's really helps you to meet friends and make new friends in the community. And this is very important because if we have friends in the PARE community, then it makes our work and our life easier for our organizations. And it's an opportunity for patient representative for your organization to to get to know the PARE community, to learn more, to find paths through the things that our community is doing, to write about the organization at the breakthrough article, to present the KTP program on a PARE conference with a poster, even to make an abstract for this knowledge transfer program at the EULAR Congress. And believe me, I have done it, and it's a fantastic opportunity to be able to speak at EULAR Congress about with an abstract about the KTP program. Next slide, please. So what are the benefits? By successfully, except from the previous that I talk about, is by successfully completing a project, your organization will have strengthened its partnership with the partner organization, will be able to, will learn how to implement the lessons learned and how to achieve the aims and objectives of the project and translate it into enhanced organizational capacity. This means that during a KTP, you will be able to learn how to achieve the aim, which means how to apply it in your national organization, and they will the trainer organization will help you to establish it in your organization. You will be able to apply the gain knowledge in the organization and all the branches of your organization, be able to teach the gain knowledge to other members, staff of the organization, of course. Next slide, please. Some examples of supported projects. We are thinking, in order to help you, we write down some examples that you may have, and it's one, it's starting a youth group, fundraising, or find multi-source funding communication with donors, and not only with pharmaceutical companies, self-management programs, decentralization of the organization, building regional branches, working with volunteers, recruiting new members, patient involvement into research, strategic planning, organizational structures and governance, and public relations and campaigns. On the KTP working group, as you know, we have asked the previous months from each PARE member organization to tell us what are your needs and what you can offer as a training organization. So we have on PARE on EULAR website a very nice. We will see it on the next slide. Please the next slide. This is a list of what organizations offer. Here you can find it. It's in EULAR's. We will share the website. It's a list of what is offered out there, and you can search according to your needs, to your organization needs, who are able to teach you what you need. For example, Belgium can offer patient research partner knowledge. Bulgaria can offer social media skills. Cyprus can offer PRP and funding opportunities. With this list, you can find what it's out there, what the other member organization can train you, can learn you, and we can bring you, I mean, KTP program can bring you in contact with these organizations. So next slide. So the application schedule. The application program launch was in 15th of March. The deadline for application is 1st July at 23:59 set. The applications must be uploaded to the EULAR school system. The applications submitted after the deadline will not be reviewed. Jury will review and make decisions between 10 July and 10 of September. The announcement of successful applications will be later in September. And the project duration will start from 1st of November until 1st of November 2027. Project ideas need to be discussed with the potential teaching organization and the aims and objectives agreed before submitting the application to the EULAR office. And as I said before, we are here and we can bring you in contact with an organization. And in addition, we can help you at any time to fill up the application. For reports of previous successful projects, you can find on the link in EULAR website on the link that we have here. So next slide, please. So the grants, the total amount that is available for the program, for the total program is 15,000 euros. And the maximum of the grant that a project can be awarded will be at 7,500 euros. This means that if we have an application that the budget is small and it will be accepted, EULAR can only give 7,500 euros only. So next one, please. Okay, and the jury consists of the member of PARE KTP working group, 2 members of other standing committees of EULAR, one from scientific and one from HPR. And if we have a conflict of interest, then the PARE committee chair and the EULAR vice president of PARE, they will stand by to jury if we have members that we have a conflict of interest. Next slide, please.
Can I please barge in a little bit? And we said that yes, for applications that are outside Europe, that's going to entail only virtual consultation and sessions. The budget won't even go up to 7,500 euros per project. So that's going to be per application. It's going to be discussed in advance and everybody is going to be on board and will know what is happening per application because they are out of Europe. They're not going to use and need the whole amount as if they would be on site face to face. So this needs to be clear in advance for outside Europe applications. Not all 7,500 euros per application is going to be available. So that needs to be clear also. Yeah.
And also, Nadia, because we have a question, this doesn't mean that we can have only two applications because it doesn't need to be 7,500 euros the cost, the budget. If we have less amount, then we can give to more applications, which means that the 15,000 is the top that we can give is the overall. But if we have, let's say, 4 applications that are less than 4,000 euros, so we can give it. We have
Exactly.
total 50,000 euros. Yeah.
To fund.
So
It's
yeah,
always dependent upon the project and the budget of the project and how they will uh, like deal with their idea and how they will uh, cut like create the budget and how they are planning to implement the project. So can we go
yeah.
to the next slide, please? So that's me.
So yeah, I'm giving
Okay.
the floor
So,
to you,
uh,
Nadia. Thank you.
thank you. So, the official consultation phase and we have opened the KTP application phase also. So it's 15th of March. So we're now officially open for applications. But before submitting your application, you have to please discuss your project aim and application with member of the Knowledge Transfer Working Group in case you have any questions when it comes to the application process itself. So this is why we're holding this webinar today. So you can like raise your questions, have answers, and even the webinar itself is a way to answer in advance whatever is happening with the application. And we have adjusted the application. We have made it as easy as possible for everyone to complete it. So it's the easiest you have ever seen. And we hope that it's going to be easy for you to come back and apply for the KTP. So after completing the application, the review process will take place, and any project that will be chosen from the jury, as Andrew mentioned, upon notice of the start of the project, will the 70% of the grant will be paid upon notice of the start, and approved project must be completed within the 24th months that will take to complete the project mentioned in the application and whatever you have to do in your project. So as you can see, even the whole amount of months you have to complete the project is now 2 years, not 18 months as it was before. And so in some cases, people were asking for some extensions. But now you have to pay a little bit of attention because an extension of the project will not be allowed. We think that 2 years, 2 whole years, is more than enough to complete a project as long as you follow your timeline, your specific goals you have set. So a good application will be setting the tone for you to complete your project in 24 months. After receipt and approval of both financial and project reports, the EULAR office pays out the remaining 30% grant money. So this needs to be clear in advance, as I said, so no confusion there, no wrong expectation also. Next slide, please. So the project reporting and documentation, this is something also some of the past applicants really found a bit of difficulties to adhere to the things that they needed to do. It's not actually difficult because templates for both will be provided in advance. So we have a narrative report and a financial report. And of course, you need to keep original receipts wherever possible to be able to send them to us so we can have your complete file in order to have everything set in and in place to be able to pay out the 2 installments for the grant. The organization will be asked to produce a poster. This is the learning organization, to produce a poster about their project for the upcoming EULAR PARE conference. This is something really nice and unique, as Andrew mentioned, because this is really a way to showcase what you've done in your project and maybe share your best practice and your success with other countries, and maybe others will follow in your place, and maybe others will come back to you so you can become also a teaching organization for others. So your organization will also be encouraged to submit an abstract summarizing whatever your program did as a case study for consideration in the EULAR annual EULAR Congress, which is also a very nice opportunity to come to the EULAR Congress, maybe have your abstract accepted and have a speaker invited to the Congress, which are also very nice opportunities for anyone being able to do that. Next slide, please. So, deadline for submitting financial and project reports is the 31st of December 2027. This needs to be really clear because, again, these deadlines are there for a reason. Your project needs to be over by the 1st of November 2027, and deadline is a month later, so you have enough time to complete your reporting, to send it over so it can be reviewed, and all payments should be done in time. Again, please do not forget to acknowledge your teaching organization, and the acknowledgement happens in two ways. We can acknowledge in writing in our reporting, and of course in the abstract submitted in EULAR Congress and in the annual PARE conference, but we acknowledge by giving an allowance that's 500 euros, that's a pre-determined amount, and this goes to the teaching organization as it is, and this is always predetermined and it never changes. So you have to know it and you have to always include it in your budget in advance. Okay? So next slide, please. So we go to the criteria for evaluation, and this is something for the jury. So members of the working group, as we said, from the steering committee of other working groups like the scientific and HPR, and sometimes for other people that take part in the jury. And you need to understand those criteria because these are the things you have to keep in mind when you fill out your application. You need to be really clear with your need for doing the application. So how will the project help your application, and the project, how will it involve people with RMDs? So we do ask you right out loud, what is the benefit for your organization and for people with RMDs being involved in the project? And this is a very, very specific criterion because we do evaluate that in the outcome of the project and for the whole idea and what's the reason for even implementing it. So the second criterion is the feasibility. So is this something that can actually be done? Because we could even think of a project involving, let's say, AI, involving things that could be really, really nice to do, but do we have the capacity to do it? Is this a good plan, and a plan that our organization, that's, let's say, volunteer based, is this something we can actually afford and we can actually do with the people we have working, the volunteers? Do they know how to do it? Can they do it? So the feasibility of the project is a really important criterion in terms of, yes, we thought about it. Can we now go and do it? So next slide, please. So the good evaluation, you need to clearly define what you want to achieve with the project, and you have to focus on the who, what, where, and why. So here we always ask how you will measure your success, and we ask you to make it quantifiable in terms of, do you have like key points that you will measure in terms of metrics, in terms of statistics, in terms of numbers. This thing is always making our applicants a bit weary and a bit frightened, and they always say, that's the thing we always have trouble with. But you needn't worry about that because when you come up with your idea, the who, what, where, and why are the things you need to focus on. So who is going to benefit from it? What are we doing in our project for people to benefit from? So where are we doing it? In our local community, in a hospital, in our local community with people with RMDs and somewhere else? And why are we doing it? Are we trying to, let's say, raise our membership? Are we trying to become more vocal about R&Ds? Are we trying to implement something that will go as far to become more aware the community, so funders will know about us and they will come back to us and fund our NGO? So why are we doing this? Do we need money? Do we need more members? Do we need to become more vocal about RMDs? So these need to be really clear in advance. That's why we do have the application and we do have the questions for you so you can be clear. The minute these all become clear, that's the minute your project will really have a success. So the fourth criteria is partnership and cooperation and expertise. So two roads are going to be walked here. One road is a clear description of the expertise of the teaching organization. So why did you choose them? Do they know more than you and do they have clear expertise on the thing you really want to learn? So this should be a yes answer. They should have a clear expertise and more knowledge so they can teach you and they can show you how to do the thing you want to learn so you can help the community of RMD, of people living with RMDs, and they can show you what you need to do better in your community and uh, so you can be able to achieve your goal. So you also need to have an idea of who of your people, the people you have on your staff, if you have staff, or which of your volunteers, because some of you are clearly volunteer based. I mean, we are in Greece. I'm certain that you are also, some of you. So which of your volunteers are better at doing this or could be better when they are taught how to do this? Who are interested in this? Who have the time to spend learning about this so they can implement it now and in the future? So this will be a good idea in advance so that this criterion can be met. So next slide, please. So I've created a somewhat impromptu application. This is not actually an out of the blue application. I used a past application from Cyprus and Greece. Okay, this is not a random thing. This has been done, but I've changed a lot of the things that was already written just to showcase how you can do it and how you can do it really easily and really with no intricate and no really difficult things for you. So the application looks like that. The first part is actually really easy because you just have to put in the details of your the learning and the teaching organization right under that. So you put in the responsible people from one country and the other country. Right after that, you give the title of your project. You need to be a bit not careful, but a bit aware of the title of the project because this will be the representation of your project. So what are you aiming for? And usually the title of the project answers to either who, what, where, or why. Maybe all of them, but some of it, absolutely yes. It should be answered in the title. And after that, we do, as I said before, ask you what your organization would like to learn, the benefits for the organization and for the individual members or people in RMDs in your community in general. So you go ahead, and as I said, in the criterion that needs to be met, you explain in real simple words and terms, no terminology is needed. So this is a simple application. You don't need to go about using scientific terms. This is simple terms. No need to fuss about it. Just put in simple words what the answers are to these questions. We just need to know what you're trying to achieve through this project. Simple as that. Yeah, what's your idea? What's your concept about doing the project? Okay, so let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, and then we need you to answer to us, as I said in the criterion, about who is who has and what type of expertise. So why did you choose the teaching organization, and how do you think they will be able to teach you what you need to learn? So the expertise of the teaching organization is really, really important. So for example, at this project, I've put down that Greece wanted to teach, was the teaching organization for Cyprus regarding social media. So I've said that Greece had the expertise, like, for example, Keti had the expertise. Keti Adonopoulou is a volunteer in Eleana, so she had the expertise to teach the Cyprus organization how to deal with social media. Why? Because she's been working with that. She's an expert. She's an expert in her professional life, so she has been using that in our organization, Eleana, and she's able to do that in terms of helping out another organization by teaching them, showing them best practices, tips, and ways to use social media to their advantage, to run social media campaigns for raising awareness on RMDs, to run projects on raising awareness. So she will be sharing her expertise with the other organization. So in the next question, we say, please describe step by step how you plan to organize the learning process. Here, the learning process could have a lot of different aspects. So it could be online meetings, it could be face-to-face meetings, it could be hybrid meetings, it could be webinars, it could be preparatory meetings. There is no absolutely a must do, let's say, face-to-face meetings. And here we have to point out that the face-to-face meetings need to have 2 persons per visit, unless there is a need for a personal assistant for a person, let's say. So this will go into the application and will be approved. And if there is a way to do, let's say, preparatory online meetings, you can use that tool. And for scientific affiliates, we already mentioned that it's going to be only online meetings because they're outside Europe. So this could take a lot of forms, a lot of ways, but you can describe here how you are going to implement and organize the learning process. This could take a lot of forms. It's up to you to describe how you will do it. And if you need any type of assistance here, you can discuss it and get advice from the teaching organization, or you can come back to us, to the KTP working group, send an email to pare@eular.org, and they will forward the message to the KTP working group, and you will get an answer from us. So moving to question number 5, we say, please share how you will use the shared knowledge and apply that you have learned in your organization short term and long term. So anything you are planning to do, we really hope that you will do it now, and something will come out for your organization also for the future. So anything we learn, it's meant to be learned for short-term use, but also for long-term use. So the example I've given you, anything that we learn about social media, for example, is always used for now and forever, if I can say that. But that goes a long way, because anything we learn, like for PRPs, as Andrew mentioned, they have a project. It goes a long way, because whatever you learn now, you can use it like in any time, at any time in the future. And also projects for self-management. If you remember the table we showed you, many countries can share their best practices and knowledge on self-management projects. They do have amazing projects, but anything you can learn from them, it goes a long way, because then you can really use it for yourself, the organization, and the community of people living with RMDs. Yes.
Nadia, sorry, can I
Yeah,
interrupt
yeah.
that? And as you will see, a lot of organizations can give you for same project, let's say the training. So for you, you have to look the organization's program. Okay, you can ask them more details. So you will choose the best one for your organization. And as Nadia said before, we have some that are fully volunteers, some organizations that are mixed volunteers and staff. So it's better for you to check which organization is more similar to you, and even to search which organization is an on culture type like you, which means that sometimes due to the culture, the project of one organization cannot fit to another organization that has completely different culture.
Yeah,
So
in some cases we do have this option because of so many countries offer the same project in different cultural backgrounds, the language they use, but in some other cases, like for example, when it comes to clinical trials, if you want to learn more, like I saw Lupus Europe, and I think one more country was offering was offering projects regarding that. So if you want to know more, probably you only have one, two, or three countries to choose from. So there you can have uh, a smaller pool of options. So that's the difference, but you can always choose and you can always see what's more interesting to your organization. So next slide, please. And moving on, um, we ask you to give your milestones and plan timeline. This can be really, really thorough and detailed or not. If you haven't thought it through, I always suggest uh, at least the milestones to be set in advance to have a good idea of what's going to happen and when, because that will set the tone from the beginning regarding your project. So I've put random things here regarding the project I'm suggesting, but you can see that I have put the milestones, and you can like keep an eye on them and go back and follow up with those milestones. And the plan timeline would be even better if you have it already from the beginning. That's even better for you. And if you have any well-known risks and you know them in advance, at number 7, you should be able to identify and write them down so you can go ahead and plan for them on how probably to avoid, or how you can have probably a plan B or a plan C to maybe not have many delays, or how to maybe compensate for any time delays. So you will know if that happens, you will go back and like use plan B or plan C. So because you already know you have 24 months, and maybe they sound a lot of time to implement your project, but sometimes time flies. You should be aware. So we all live with an R&D, so time flies. So let's be aware of our timelines and keep an eye on them. So number 8 is also regarding we mentioned a criteria about good evaluation, and this is here at number 8. Please describe how you define success of your project and how it will be measured. So now we say, how do you define success and measure about your project? You can give, like I gave, simple outlines or simple measurements or simple. I used the ones that the learning organization had used past in their application. That this could be it, or it could be measurable things or quantifiable things, or if you're not really familiarized with that, you could just describe what you are going to measure. If you're having a really difficult time in doing this, again, please get advice from the teaching organization who probably have a clearer idea on how they are teaching it, or get back to the KTP working group to have a little bit of consultation with us. Maybe we can easily or easier, we can suggest a couple of things. We're not statisticians, but maybe we can suggest. So moving on, you will see that you can um, just let's go back. Yes, finishing up really quick. Here we put really quickly who is going to participate in the project and why. So the expertise and a brief description of people participating and why. So why are they doing this? How come they are going to work with the project? So what's their expertise? You can describe briefly or just give us a couple of sentences out of their CV. You choose the way to do it. And then the budget, it's right under the next slide. So Andrew will present you the budget. If you have any type of answers regarding what I've just mentioned, please, you can put it in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Next slide, please, Birte. Can you please double click?
I have to go out of the presentation for that.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you, Birte. The budget is a very easy to fill it up, and I would like to explain you a little bit. It's an Excel spreadsheet, and the cost overview, the first table, you don't have to put anything there. It's an automatically table that is taking the things that you are putting below and show them up as a cost overview. And on the external services, you can put there any expense that you will have with brief description, like if you have something that you need to print out, or if you have things that you need to translate, then you will put here then the cost. Like I put, let's say I have to print out some manuals, let's say for this program that Nadia told you before, and I need 50 copies, which I put it on the quantity, and then I put the cost per unit, which is 10 euros, and the total cost is 500 euros. If I want to ask the whole amount from EULAR, I will put it on the requested from EULAR table, and I will put 300 euros. If I want to put it on other sources, I will put that 100 euros, let's say, I will take from other sources. And these sources maybe will be from the patient organization pocket, okay? And I can put also for printing workshop materials and etc. So on external services, you can put whatever it's out of the program needs, which means that it will be, let's say, if you have to rent a Zoom call or a Teams, you will have to to put it there. So can you go a little bit further, Piste? Okay, on the other cost, you can put, for example, if you have to rent a meeting room, if you don't have office premises and you need to rent a meeting room, or if you have office expenses like electricity and other expenses that you will have in the office during the KTP program, which means that the time that you will spend on that on your office, for example, you will expend some amount, and you can put it here. And the travel cost. The travel cost is the let's say the most difficult one to write down. You need to write there your flights expenses, and you need to look before how much it will cost, and please don't put the cheapest one, because you will never get the cheapest one. You have to put a cost that it has also luggage, for example, a cabin luggage or whatever, and you will have to put the flight cost for the people that are going to the train organization, to the train country, and the flight cost for the cost of going to the teaching organization and back, because you need to go first to the teaching organization, and then the teaching organization is coming to your offices, to the applying organization offices, to check how did they do, if they need anything, if they need more things to learn, or if they need help to establish it in the organization. So you need to write down the flight cost for each journey. And let's say if you have a personal assistant traveling with the people, you have to put it on the quantity also for the personal assistant. And then you need to think about the transportation in the country of in the destination country. So you have to talk with the training organization to know how much it costs, the transfers, the taxi, the metro, whatever you will need for your movements in the country. And then the accommodation. To do the budget of the accommodation, you need to know the exact dates and let's say nights that you will stay in each country, and to multiply it by the people. And you are putting on the quantity the multiplication, which means if I have 4 people by 4 nights, it's gonna be 16 quantity. And then we are putting the cost per unit, and the total cost is going up to its own. And you need to also to put there the food and beverage cost for each visit. And again, you have to think how many days, how many people, and how many lunch or dinners you will have. And don't forget on the food and beverage to conclude the people that are from the destination country, because why is the training, while the training is taking those people also need to have lunch or dinner. So you have to put them there. So you have to communicate with the other organization and set up a plan before you are doing the budget. And again, if you need coffee breaks or whatever else, you have to put it here on the travel cost. At the end, the overall costing it's going up on the first table, as I said, and it shows you how much is gonna be your application. And if you put things on the other sources, again, will show you how much you will need out of the organization pocket to pay for this program. Hope so. I try to give you as much as I can with the budget. It's not so difficult, but you have to think from the beginning all the aspects of the trips and all the aspects of the project, what you will need, and so you will not have any surprise with extra expenses that you didn't thought about it, and then you will have to pay for this from the from your organization. So thank you. This is all for the project, for the budget of the project, and we can hear you for any questions. Do we have any questions? No? Yes, Gerardine is asking.
I'm mute. Oh no, I'm mute.
No.
No, I want. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. I came up a little late because I had another meeting. I'm sorry for that. But if I understand, it is also possible to do most of the things online, organize things online, meet online, etc. That is accepted. You do not have to go somewhere if it is very expensive or something. You can do things online. Is that accepted?
Yes, it's accepted.
Okay.
And you can write down all the project and the budget, and it's accepted to be only digital project. It's just some things cannot be digital. So yeah,
No,
it's accepted.
but we'll try to do as much digital as possible because
Yes.
that is cheaper and it works fine since COVID. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So in case it is digital, it's cheaper. So you can have a project that will be impactful. It's going to be to have a lower budget. So you can propose, you can like send an application, you can discuss it with the teaching organization, and it actually can involve no trips, can have another type of budget. It's not the things that Andrew mentioned, like traveling back and forth, no hotels, no overstays. So, but you really have to think about other type of possible expenses, like what type of meetings you will have. If you will have like Zoom meetings, maybe you will have a small budget of paying the Zoom platform to support the meetings. It's small, it's a small amount, but you will have to consider that. in advance, so you will have open access to the Zoom platform for maybe like more than 40 minutes that allows for the free access. Maybe you will need a bit more access. So consider that. So this type of probably little expenses you should add to your budget. But these are small expenses, so you will have a low budget. And of course, it is feasible, like when we were in the COVID, on the pandemic era. Yeah, exactly. Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you, Nadia.
Yes.
Do we have any other questions? Because we have
Yeah.
to finish our webinar.
I think Katie has her hand up. Yeah, Katie?
She cannot speak. She's writing.
Katie, you are muted currently, but you have to unmute yourself. I gave you the permission to do so.
Katie?
Okay. Can you write it down or shall we?
Mauro D'Antonio is asking about the direct link to what the countries can offer, as in the slide. Do we have it in a direct link?
It's actually on the website.
Yeah, I put the
on the
link.
Website.
Yeah, I put the link of the application, and if they click on it, they will find it. But we can send whatever they need. And what do you mean, Kadi, with the? Okay, we have 50,000 euros. The maximum that can be applied is for 7,500 euros. But this doesn't mean that an application must be on this amount. It can be on less amount. But there are some projects that they need this amount. Then is the jury that will decide which applications will be accepted, and according to the criteria that Nadia said before. Okay, thank you very much. We have to close now. Whatever you need, we are here on the KTP working group to help you to make your application. Please ask us whatever you want through emails. And if you have more, if you need more guidance, we can make make a digital meeting with you to help you with this with the application. So thank you very much. Thank you, Birte, for participating, and see you around.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.